What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. In this segment, we're going to get right into the undercoat in the wheel wells of the car, trying to make them look back to stock. As you saw in the last pictures, it had kind of been chipping away, so we just had to wire wheel all that off. Also, the bottom of the car gets coated and refinished. Super pumped for you to see how it came out. Also, we're going to start into the very beginning process of every nut and bolt from the car we have, and we're going to restore them because we can't really source a lot of the bolts, and used ones are just as damaged as the ones we have, so we're going to see if we can't make these things brand new. Enjoy. All right, so right where we picked up where we left off. Right here was us still wire wheeling the wheel wells and getting ready to lay the undercoat. Surprisingly, the old undercoat had sat for so long that it actually came off pretty easy. So once we got it off, it was time to lay it back down. Now, if you guys have done your homework about Type R's, you'll know that they were completely meticulous about losing any weight they could. So there was very little undercoat on this car compared to a normal Integra. So when reapplying, we were very careful not to use too much and try to mimic their exact lines that they did spray. So many cool things I learned about the Type R while doing this. Just structurally, they're nothing like your normal Integra. Aside from the strength bars, the entire chassis is seam welded. I mean, that's some true race car stuff. Anyway, here are some before and afters of the wheel wells after we got them coated, trying to match the exact way they came from factory. I cannot be happier with the way they came out. Everything looks perfect. Now it was on to the bottom of the car. I spent probably 30 to 40 hours in this mask wire wheeling the whole bottom of the car. I mean, every little speck of rust, I was adamant on removing. Forgive me for not time-lapsing the bottom of the car, but it was freezing down there and I just wanted to get it done. Normal people would put the car on a rotisserie, but this is pretty much what we ended up with when we taped it off to get ready after the wire wheeling was done and paint the bottom of the car. This is it after painting. I don't know if you guys remember what it looked like, but there were just tiny little rust spots that I had to wire wheel out and recoat the bottom of the car so everything was perfect. This is what it looked like before. It was gross, and this is after. It was very tedious. Like I said, 40 man-hours underneath laying on my back, several very, very long nights. Anyway, this is my pride and joy shot. This is before and after we did the undercoat and the final coat at the bottom of the car. I mean, it came out, almost too perfect. These are some more before and afters of the bottom of the car, with everything out being recoated, as well as the bumper bars. Sent those off to sandblasting, got all the rust off of them. Those are going to be painted champ white like they came. And then here come the details, man. The structure bars. This is where we dive into the real crazy stuff. The steering wheel. Every piece of rust has to be gone. It has to be perfect. So now that the bottom of the car was done, it was time to set up some bench grinders and try to bring these bolts back to life. We found a cool guy up the street that let us sit the bolts in a chemical bath over the weekend, and we came back and immediately started grinding all the rust off. Now, when the guy gave us the bolts back from the chemical bath, we said we'd have them back to him to get zinc coated by the weekend. He looked at us like we were crazy, and he was right. This was way more tedious than we thought. So we still have a lot more hours sitting at these bench grinders. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again. Make sure you tune in for the next segment because we finally get everything wire wheeled and off to zinc. This was tons of man hours, so I hope you enjoy. I cannot wait to show you how these come out. We also will be having parts coming back from powder coat. So things are gonna start going together as soon as we can get the bolts finished and put back together and restored. We can't put it together without the bolts. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, you know the vibes.